It's road court advantage in the playoffs. Steph Curry injures his hamstring. Can the Warriors survive without him? The Cavs get stunned again by the most overrated player in the NBA, and are the Thunder smaller than we thought? That's all today on Locked On NBA.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On NBA. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day. We are free. We are available wherever you get your podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Doug Branson, host of Locked On Hornets and your Shot Clock Sherpa, guiding you through the NBA's biggest stories with the help of Locked On's local experts. And I have two of the best with me, as always, from the Locked On Nuggets podcast and senior NBA writer for the Action Network. It's Matt Moore. Matt, is Tyrese Halliburton actually underrated?
I have this question. Is he the new Grim Reaper? Like, is he the new Slim Reaper? Like, look at all these teams he's knocking out. This dude is a playoff killer. I can't believe what he's doing in his first two playoff runs. Absolutely incredible stuff from Hallie.
And from the Locked On Bulls podcast, we've got Hayes. Hayes, road teams are now 5-0 in the second round, 6 straight wins going back to Sunday's Warriors win over the Rockets. Should the Pacers consider painting their home court wine and gold and handing out Cavs shirts?
I don't know about that, but I will say this. I don't know if we can say that only the road teams won because the Pacers now own the Cavs.
Oh, the Q. Going to the Pacers. All right, we're going to get back to that game in just a moment, but the Cavaliers not the only team dealing with significant injuries now. Steph Curry left the Warriors' Game 1 win over the Wolves in the second quarter with what they're calling a hamstring strain. He's listed as day-to-day and due for an MRI today, so you may know more about his status by the time that you listen to this. We don't know how long Steph is going to be out, but we're pretty confident he won't be available in Game 2. At least Steve Kerr said that's what they are game planning for. Matt, how long can the Warriors stay competitive in this series without Steph Curry?
I mean, look, if the Wolves are never going to hit a jump shot ever again, they can be pretty competitive in this series and win it outright. I keep doubting this Warriors team, and they keep making me look like a moron. So, look, that win last night was super impressive. Steph goes out, Buddy Hield, Jimmy Butler, they carry them, but it's really that defense. The Wolves have got to get themselves right. Steph, depending on the severity, some reports this morning from the people that are the Twitter doctors are suggesting, hey, it could be a week. It could be 3 to 6 weeks. And we'll see the severity of the strain when the MRI comes out. I'm going to bet it's going to probably be a week. But this series does not have off days until Game 6. So this is going to be very interesting to see. I don't know how to project this going forward because, look, the Warriors defense wrecked that Wolves team last night. I would think that the Wolves can get themselves right, Hayes, but until I see it happen, I'm going to be a little skeptical.
Yeah, it's hard to assume that when they are shooting combined 12 of 76 from three-point range over the last 2 playoff games that they played. That's a historic low. That's 15%. So if they're not going to hit shots, you're right. It's going to be hard for them to get in the game like this. Now, I will say this. Chris Finch's words, which I know we'll talk about, hopefully motivate Anthony Edwards a little bit. One of the things that we've seen from Anthony all throughout the season is that he's taken the leadership role very seriously this year, and he let this team down. I know that the raw stats, the box score stats look solid from him when you look at the game, but like when you look at the first half, that he couldn't hit anything. So Anthony Edwards has to come out in Game 2, and he has to set the tone for this team and for the rest of the way of this series. And if he does that, they can still win it. But if he doesn't, it's going to be ugly for him.
By the way, good job, Hayes. We completely blew up Doug's rundown in the first segment. We just completely annihilated it. It was a good job by us.
No, it's interesting that you really in both of your answers, it went more to can the Warriors survive is more about what the Wolves do or do not, and less so, I guess, in your minds about what Buddy Hield is capable. Can he keep up the pace that he had there in Game 1? Can Jimmy Butler take over similar to what he did in Miami? Draymond Green, after the game, seemed to be confident that's what Jimmy Butler can do. That's what they paid. That's what they traded for Jimmy Butler to do. But you guys seem less confident in that, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Warriors had a 104 offensive rating in this game. Like a 104 offensive rating. They did not win this game with offense. They won it with defense. Like the shooting was terrible from everybody. It was just more horrifically terrible from the Timberwolves. Like the Warriors offense was a scary movie. Like, oh, I turned on Max and I found a scary movie. And like the Wolves offense was The Ring. It was horrifying. So Brandon Pajemski, 1 of 7, Butler 7 of 20, Buddy Hield 7 of 19, but 5 of 8 from 3. They're not going to be able to replicate Steph's offense. They're just going to have to, like, I can't believe I'm about to say this. The Warriors are now the Rockets. That's what they are now, and that's how they're going to have to win this series.
Yeah, I think the thing is that, Doug, you make a great point in saying that can Buddy Hield keep it up? Draymond and Jimmy, the problem is that if Steph's not going to be playing, they don't need just one of those things to happen. They need all 3 of them to happen throughout the series if they want to win this. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are actually playing at the level that we know that they can, and that's where it gets a little scary. I do think Jimmy can have some really good games, and we know what Jimmy's capable of when he goes into that level, but I don't know, even if Jimmy goes off for 40, if Buddy Hield goes back to the Buddy Hield we've seen at times this season, it's going to be a great game from him. See Donovan Mitchell, but it's not going to equate to a win, right? So That's what I worry about. They're going to need so much to go right or so much to go wrong for the Warriors if Steph's not going to play in this series.
All right, let's go back to the Wolves, and Locked On Wolves host Ben Beacon with where the blame lies in his mind for this Wolves playoff disaster in Game 1.
I thought Chris Finch hit the nail on the head immediately in his post-game presser when he called out Ant, and he said, I'm paraphrasing, but I didn't like Ant's energy. You know, he's our leader, 100%. And there are some games where Ant starts a little bit slow offensively, and so he turns to be a facilitator. But I never felt in this game that Anthony Edwards was an active facilitator. When things didn't go their way early, and Ant's way specifically early, it was, well, let's just chuck threes because eventually we have to make some, which there's some truth to that. Like at some point, and maybe now doubly so after Game 5 against the Lakers when they shot 14.5%, and then this game where they shot 17% from 3, like law of averages, it's going to come back. But it kind of felt like there was this sense of like, well, we can't score. Let's just shoot threes because eventually we'll make one. Well, fine. But on the other end, the defense was just lackadaisical enough that even a Steph-less Warriors offense was able to score enough to hold off the Wolves.
So, Matt, Hayes mentioned the comments by head coach Chris Finch. Anything to make of those comments, calling out Anthony Edwards' effort, and then Edwards really chalking it up to one bad offensive game?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is going to be a learning experience that all kind of superstars go through, where and Ant's faced like, okay, what do you do when they hard double you and these kind of things? And now the question is, all right, when you're facing a thing where everything is going wrong like this, how do you adjust and set the tone? It's one of the things I think that is hardest for star players. When I've gotten comments on these kind of questions, one of the things they've said is you want to let the game come to you, but you have to, in time, you kind of learn that you have to force the game in a certain direction because of how important you are. It's got to be a balance of, look, we talk about this all the time of, you know, playing, being a good teammate and being somebody that makes your team better. How do you balance that with, hey, the whole thing's broken and you're going to have to spark something to make it easier for everybody? Trying to balance that, I think, is really difficult. And it's one of the challenges I think that Ant will face maybe in this series. On the other hand, like, he was 1 of 6 on uncontested shots. Dude just missed a bunch of good looks. Like, they will go down theoretically at some point again.
Ant had an effective field goal percentage of 0 in the first half of the game and a true shooting percentage of 5.6. In the second half, he had a 71% true shooting percentage and effective field goal shooting percentage of 67%. So hopefully we see more of second half Ant than first half Ant, but you're a star. You're a superstar. You've talked the talk. You've walked the walk all season. And unfortunately, especially unless you have other stars at your level on your team, you don't get very many games or bad games. So if this was a bad game, if Anthony Edwards is right in saying that it's an off game, cool. In this series, you get 1. So now you have to turn it on and be on for the rest of the series.
All right, coming up on Locked On NBA, we're going to head back to Cleveland and ask, did the Pacers steal this game or did the Cavaliers blow this game and maybe the entire series? Plus, 2 home teams and heavy finals favorites face some Game 2 challenges. We'll talk more about the OKC Thunder and the Boston Celtics coming up on Locked On NBA. Today's episode of Locked On NBA is brought to you by OpenPhone. If you're running a business, every missed call could be a missed opportunity. Think about it. The last time that you had a service emergency, did you wait for a call back? Probably not. That's why you need OpenPhone. It's the #1 business phone system that streamlines your customer communication and helps you scale all from an app on your phone or your computer. I love that I don't need to carry 2 phones with me. With OpenPhone, I can just manage my business calls and texts from one app, whether I'm at my desk or I'm on the go. And my favorite feature is the shared inbox, where your whole team can jump into any conversation without missing a beat. Plus, the AI call transcripts and summaries are absolute game changers for staying on top of follow-ups and customer interaction. That means more business. And right now, OpenPhone is offering our listeners 20% off your first 6 months. Just go to openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That's OPENPHONE.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you're switching from another provider, they will even port your number over for free. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. More Locked On NBA ahead. Thanks for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. Let's head back to Cleveland and hear more from a stunned and bewildered Danny Cunningham of Locked On Cavs, who just yesterday told us that all the Cavs needed to do was get a superstar performance from Donovan Mitchell. Well, Donovan delivered, but the Cavs did not. Here's Danny.
This is a game where I think the Cavs lost it more than the Pacers won it. I thought that the Cavs, for most of this night, outplayed Indiana. The Cavs got beat because they couldn't close. The Cavs got beat because they couldn't do the little things down the stretch. They couldn't get the ball inbounds. They couldn't get stops when they needed to. They couldn't grab rebounds. Those are things that not even great teams, just average teams can do. The Cavs failed to do that. They played like the Cavs, minus making shots from outside, for a good portion of this game. They did. That's what they did. But it just wasn't enough.
All right, Hayes, did the Pacers steal this one or did the Cavaliers blow it? And you cannot say both.
I'll say the Pacers stole this one. Like anytime it comes down to a last-minute shot, you stole the game. I think they started off that fourth quarter with a huge run. Then they matched. Then they came back. They were close again, and then they closed it out. But the Cavs were in control for a lot of this game. It felt like this was a game that the Cavs were going to win. The Pacers just kept chipping away. They did not go out. They came out with the exact type of fight that they needed in the fourth quarter of this game, and because of that, I'll say that they stole it more than the Cavs lost it. But when you pair that with Game 1. The Cavs, I mean, at this point, like, are the Cavs going to be able to beat the Pacers 4 out of the next 5 games? Because that's what they're going to have to do if they want to win this series.
They were up 7 with 47 seconds left and never got the ball across half court the rest of the game. It was on a last-second shot. It was on a last-second shot off of an offensive rebound off of a free throw. Yes, the Cavs lost this game. The Cavs absolutely lost this game. They were not able to close this game effectively. And look at what's happened in this round. The Thunder, up by 14 for the majority of the game, can't close. The Celtics lead by 20. They had a late lead in the fourth, can't close. We're seeing 3 of the 4 were unable to close appropriately in these matchups. And one thing I keep coming back to is Thunder, Cavs, Celtics all had easy first rounds. They had easy first rounds. Their opponents were not able to match up with them. The Celtics played a team that had no offense. Yes, they were physical and it bothered the Celtics. Oh, more them. The Heat and the Grizzlies had nothing for those teams. And part of Danny's conversation before the series, as much I love Danny. Danny's amazing. You should check out Locked On Cavs and his newsletter, by the way. But Danny would talk about, I based off of how well the Cavs played in that first round series, I'm picking them, and I was like, that's a warning sign. When it's too easy, and you face a team that is battle tested and has actually been in a battle, and that Pacers Bucks series was a little bit of a battle. It came down tight in that last game. They were up against Giannis. The adjustment to having these tougher opponents, I think, has been a conversation point here in the second round.
And the Pacers getting huge contributions from role players. We might have a little time to do a little roll call. I'm going to steal Aaron Nesmith, who tops the Pacers in game score for this game. Not Miles Turner, not Tyrese Halliburton, who hit the shot, not Pascal Siakam. Aaron Nesmith, who was part of the reason they couldn't get the ball. The Cavs couldn't get the ball over half court. Incredible stuff. So a team coming back down from 2-0 in a playoff series, that's happened 34 times in like roughly 430 playoff series. It's only occurred 6 times after the home team dropped the first 2 games in NBA history. Matt, if the Cavs can get healthy, if they can get a few of these players back, can they join that list? Is it possible for the Cavs to come back in this series?
Yes, like possible. Many things are possible, Douglas. The Minnesota Timberwolves can hit one shot in 78 tries. Like, many things are possible from that perspective. But God, this is tough, man. We don't know Garland's status. We don't know Mobley's status. DeAndre Hunter didn't even do warm-ups yesterday with his dislocated thumb. So, like, if they don't get those guys back, they're sunk. They got to get 2 of the 3 back. I mean, game 3 is obviously a must win. In the second round, when the road team goes up 2-0, 12-2 are in that series. It's danger time for the Cavs. Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. We said the importance of game 2 turned into a must win for the Cavs. Like I said, are you going to win 4 out of the next 5 games? I don't know. I'm not going to predict that. Like, in the way that the Pacers have just chipped away and like came into game 1 with a great game plan. You don't know if the Cavs are going to be healthy or when they're going to get guys back. I don't know if the Cavs are going to be able to get back into this one. But with the way that this playoff series is gone, it'll be the craziest thing that they come back. And it goes to game 7 or so.
If they go out like this, I mean, this season, like, they were like the most fun story. They were so dominant, and it all fell apart in 3 days. It's insane.
What's interesting, Danny, on that same episode of Locked On Cavs, critiqued Kenny Atkinson for what he viewed as a light minutes load for stars throughout the regular season and how that might be coming back to bite them when you look at how Halliburton played at the end of that game and how Miles Turner played at the end of that game versus Donovan Mitchell, who did give you the superstar performance, 48 points, but looked gassed at the end of the game. I think we're getting some converts to the cult of Tibbs. Play your starters big minutes in the regular season or face doom in the postseason.
Yeah, Donovan, I don't understand their conditioning. Donovan played 36 minutes last night. You're down 0-1. You don't have Garland. Like, how? And look, to his credit, man, he was taking some wicked hits. He was driving like Dwayne Wade, fall down 7, get up 8. But he played 36 minutes. That's just not enough, man. This is when you're in this spot and you're shorthanded 3 rotation guys. If you're the star player, I know he gave him 48. He was amazing. He really was. He was 48-9. He was terrific. They needed more. They needed more from Donovan Mitchell. And he was a plus 13 when he was out there. He needed to play more. I hate that that's true, but it is.
Wow, Hayes, 48 points. That's not enough. Are you in agreement there? Do they need more from Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if he can give more. Like, I mean, what is he going to go for 60? The fact is that you need support. Like, right, and that's, I think, what we said after Danny's comments yesterday. Like, you're going to get a great performance from Donovan Mitchell. I have no doubt that he can go to that next level. But what happens other than that? He can't guard everybody. He's not going to be the best defender on the court. Like, there's so much going on where the Pacers are able to attack the Cavs that Donovan could go for 60. They probably still lose by 5.
It's easy for Matt Moore to say he covers a guy that can get off of his horse and have a 40-point, 20 triple-double.
Casually, too. Like,
and plays 44 minutes. That's the thing, is I'm used to Joker who just doesn't get tired.
All right, we're going to talk more about those Nuggets soon, but 2 heavy finals favorites, they face critical game 2s at home. First up, let's hear from Locked On Thunders, from Rylan Stiles of Locked On Thunder, I should say, who reviewed the tape and identified the major adjustment that OKC must make if they want to beat the Nuggets and not find themselves in the same position as the Cavs.
First and foremost is the rebounding. And it's not just the fact that you were embarrassed on the glass. 72-53 will not play. You saw that a year ago. It will not work in the postseason to be out-rebounded at this clip. The Thunder did things to address the rebounding issues this season. They've really shown throughout the course of this season to be better on the glass than what they've shown in Game 1. But it is an embodiment of what was wrong with OKC. This Thunder team did not do what was required to go get rebounds, much less to go win a game. Christian Brown got 13 rebounds by himself. That's want to. That's doing the right things. The Thunder can rebound. They've gotten more size, and they should be able to do it. They just didn't want to do it in Game 1, and that's what's inexcusable.
Matt, is this just a will and a want to issue for the Thunder, or have we been a little too quick to call their Chet Hartenstein lineup a double big? Because it looked at times like Chet was definitely getting out physicaled out there.
Yeah, this is what's interesting. We talked about this on yesterday's show. The fact that they were like plus 20 with only one of them on the floor and minus 11 when both of them were on the court was really fascinating to me. I don't really know what to make of this. I think Ryland's probably got it right. If they lock in and they give more effort and they're able to kind of, reach that level of competitiveness that Denver got to, then they can win game 2 and adjust them the series. I don't think they have to get killed on the glass. It's a disadvantage because they are younger guys and they are smaller, and Joker and AG are grown men, big. Like, they are huge dudes with so much strength. But the Thunder are just going to have to beat, like, Christian Brown can't be beating any of these offensive rebounds. So they're going to have to tighten up in those kind of areas. I do kind of agree, though, with Ryland Hayes. I think it's mostly a matter of want to. I go back to too easy in that first round versus Memphis. You got Jaren Jackson who can't rebound. Now you got Joker. You're going to have to adjust.
You mean to tell me Zach Edey didn't get them ready for Jokic? Is that what you're trying to tell me here, Matt? That Zach Edey didn't get them prepared?
I'm enjoying the playoffs. Don't get me started.
But no, like it does a lot. Those things come down to hustle and want and desire, and maybe it takes a lot to get prepared for how relentless Joker is. Like, so hopefully they come into game 2 with a better mindset, because they are going to have to go balls to the wall the whole entire 48 minutes period if they're going to want to overcome like what Jokic is able to do. And if he's getting contributions like he got from the other players helping him rebound the ball and the effort type plays, they're going to have to be locked in. They're going to have to give so much effort throughout these 48 minutes that they're going to have to feel it. But congrats to having the easy first round, because now it has to pay off for you in the second round.
Coming up on Locked On NBA, we'll do a little buy or sell. We'll hear from the Locked On Knicks podcast on whether they're buying or selling Karl Anthony Towns having a rebound game and a rebound series to help the Knicks beat the Celtics. And stay the course or full reverse. Yesterday, we talked about player futures. Today, we're going to talk about franchise futures. That's all coming up on Locked On NBA. Thanks again for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. Locked On Knicks, they played a game of buy or sell today, and in the lead up to game 2 tonight, here's Alex and Gavin on whether they are buying a rebound game and series for Karl Anthony Towns.
Buy or sell Karl Anthony Towns? We'll turn it around in game 2. Alex, do you buy or sell that?
I'm going to buy it if this is a relative turnaround. I think that the thing that will be turned around is that he will hopefully not be in foul trouble. I think based off the guys that the Celtics can throw at him, his life is never going to be easy in this series.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell this one. And to your point, it is a matter of nuance. I think he'll be better than he was in game 1, but I and again, all subjective. My definition of turn around was like he's Karl Anthony Towns in this game, and I don't think offensively. There's been 3 games where he's played to like the level you expect a guy who's making his salary, who's a former number 1 pick, who is like, again, like a top, 10 most talented big we've ever seen in the NBA offensively, purely on the offensive side of the ball. I just don't think this is going to be a good series for him.
All right, Hayes, what do you think? Alex was a buy on Cat, but didn't really sound like it there. Are you buying Karl Anthony Towns playing better? And don't they need at least 1 or 2 more Cat games to survive in this series? Wings played well and got them that win in game 1, but I think they need Cat to play better, right?
Yeah, they definitely need Cat to play better. Like, Jalen Brunson can do some amazing things. He's a special player to watch, and when he gets into rhythm, it's great. But there's going to be games where you're going to need Karl Anthony Towns to step up. He's going to have to be more aggressive. He's going to have to be focused, and he's going to have to make the Boston Celtics adjust to him some to make, if for nothing else, to make life easier on Jalen Brunson. They surprised me a lot defensively in game 1. They really did. And I think to keep that up, you're going to need Karl Anthony Towns engaged and locked in on both sides of the ball. We've seen him do it in spurts before. This is where everything matters at. He's going to have to do it in this series.
Yeah, I thought Cat was really good defensively, and a lot of the calls were honestly like, they're a little marchy. We've had some March officiating in the second round, and we need to get rid of that. Get that out of here. Look at the Cavs Pacers. Officiate that way. That's how we want the games officiated. Go back to that. Towns, I think, if they're going to switch everything, Towns has gotten slowly better and better at punishing these mismatches off of switches in his career. He's gotten more controlled. He's gotten better in those kind of situations. They just got to find the right one. Whether it's Drew Holiday, I don't think that's it. Derek White, get him in lineups versus Peyton Pritchard. Force that switch and let him go at Pritchard. If you take Pritchard out of this game, you have a really good chance of stealing game 2. He is so important to what they do, and no teams really target him. Get Cat switched on to Pritchard, force that double team, and have Cat ready to kick out to shooters. And that's the way to go about this. I think there's an opportunity there. I do think Cat can have a bounce back here in game 2. We have some breaking news, Doug. MRI results are back on Steph. It's a grade 1 hamstring strain. That's the better one, but he's ruled out of game 2. His return time is unclear. Again, I'm probably going to say it's probably going to be a week. I would not expect him back until game 4 at least.
Does that change either of your outlooks that we talked about earlier in the show for the Warriors?
I'm not even kidding here. This is a narrative thing. I'm not even kidding. It is the most Minnesota Timberwolves thing in the world for them to destroy the Lakers and then lose to the Warriors without Steph Curry. It is the most Timberwolves thing imaginable. From a basketball perspective, they should kill them. They should destroy them. They should run them over, but they have to make a jump shot, and I don't know if they can.
Yeah, it doesn't change too much. It still comes down, like I said, the Minnesota Timberwolves have to be better. If they're going to keep shooting like crap, it doesn't matter. But I'm still for right now, I'm still going to trust Ant. If they don't go down 2-0, I'm still going to trust Ant and that they can. But we'll see.
It will be very interesting to see what the shot distribution, because I think even in times where we thought Jimmy Butler was going to take more shots for the Warriors, he didn't necessarily gravitate towards that. He didn't relish that opportunity. So we'll see with Steph out if he does that, or if more shots go to Pods, or if more shots go to Buddy Hield, and how that affects the Warriors. We'll certainly talk about it tomorrow, and on Locked On NBA Game Night, they'll be recapping every game every night. All right, on yesterday's show, we talked about player futures. Today, we're going to talk some franchise futures. We got updates on the direction of 2 franchises, the LA Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets, 2 teams with plenty of assets that they can use. But the question is, will they stay the course or go full reverse next season? Let's start with the LA Clippers. Lawrence Frank, the team's president of basketball operations, said in reference to James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, quote, "I definitely believe in those 2. I think looking at next year that we can be better with more games from Kawhi." Matt, should they stay the course with those 2 or go full reverse, half reverse, whatever you want to say? Just go away from that and move into some different version of the LA Clippers.
Full reverse. I mean, first of all, I would be, again, if Giannis wants out, start there, man. Start that conversation right there and see, hey, ask the Bucks what they want, and then go to another team that's got those assets and be like, we'll give you Kawhi Leonard. I would absolutely be out of the Kawhi Leonard business. He is not going to be able to be. You have to have a new best player. The franchise is in a good spot. I think Harden can be the second guy. Everyone's going to be like, but game 7, again, Kawhi Leonard's better in that game, and maybe they got a chance to win it. So you got to have a better A1 than Kawhi Leonard is. He's not going to be your leader. You got to have somebody who can set the culture and the tone. And if they don't have that, they need to go in a different direction, Hayes.
Yeah, the Clippers played really well this season, and I think that there could be something as far as wanting to stay the course with this. But are you going to get another healthy Kawhi Leonard offseason? You wasted one. I don't know if another one's coming. I think that you have to look to do something and move on and go a different direction personally. Not to say that's not what my hate on the Clippers or anything like that. I think the chances of you repeating this season again and getting healthy Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs is slim to none. James Harden, again, you've seen what he can do in the playoffs. Every game in the series that goes on, he gets worse. I think you have to kind of change direction here.
Next up, the Brooklyn Nets. ESPN's Jeremy Woo writes, quote, "The buzz from rival teams has been the Nets aren't planning for a true long-haul tank even after reacquiring their own picks last summer." Hayes, is that a mistake? Should they stay the course or go full reverse and stay in their rebuild?
Stay in the rebuild. Stay the course. I think I understand wanting to jumpstart early if you can, especially when you have the assets. But I think we've seen it's not just when you do something. Well, it's not just what you do, it's when you do it. And I think if you go in too early, it ends up biting you. I think they should stay the course, stay in your rebuild. No point in shifting gears now.
Tell me Joe Tsai's back in the building without telling me Joe Tsai's back in the building. This reeks of ownership being like, okay, I gave you a year, now go get me another star. Come on, man. Come on. What they should do is they should do what the Pacers did. They found a young star with a lot of upside in Tyrese Halliburton, traded a piece for him, and Domantas Sabonis, very good player, and then build around that. That's where they should go. you need to get an inefficiency here to get you an edge. You cannot just leap to competitive championship level contention anymore. It's not possible. You got to go find a young guy who you can get that you believe in that others don't. That should be the priority here. You don't have to do a total rebuild and tank. Do that alongside finding that young guy and then build up from there. And you can have a quicker rebuild. You don't have to do a process type thing, but trying to just skip the steps and do a Matt Ishbia is not the way in the CBA.
All right, we've got time for a little bit of a roll call. We've been doing this all through the playoffs. Matt and Hayes giving them an opportunity to shout out some role players that are truly affecting these series. Matt, we'll start with you. Who is your roll call for today?
Is Josh Hart a role player? Like, does he count?
Glue guy.
He just does so much, man. Like, Josh Hart does so much, and he doesn't get enough credit. Cuts, quick points. Like, he fills in all of those gaps without needing to have the ball ever. He tracks down loose balls. He's such a great rebounder. He's a solid passer. Like, all of these things, Josh Hart is like such a fundamental reinforcement of everything that the New York Knicks need, and they would be in so much trouble in these playoff series without him. I'll do Josh Hart.
I'm going to say Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield has been so important, especially over these last couple of games for the Golden State Warriors team. As much as people have talked about, like, Jimmy and Steph, even in that Game 7 against the Rockets, Buddy Hield has been what has kept the Golden State Warriors afloat.
Why were you covering your face, Matt?
Buddy Hield is a 16 gamer now? I'm so like, what is happening in these playoffs? I'm so confused.
Another interesting wrinkle in this Knicks Boston series is, will Josh Hart shoot more open 3-point shots, and can that help the Knicks? Because he's gotten a few opportunities and passed them up. So that's something else to watch for Josh Hart and the New York Knicks. That'll do it for this edition of Locked On NBA. If you like what you heard today, subscribe to Locked On NBA wherever you get podcasts, including YouTube. Thanks to Matt and Hayes for their expertise every day. Thank you for making Locked On NBA your first listen. For your second listen, check out Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night, until an NBA champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NBA Game Night right here on this feed on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Enjoy tonight's action. Be kind to each other. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on Locked On NBA.